Welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories, and today is kind of a special day because I've got my very good friend Eddie over here who does the show called Brute Facts Podcast. Eddie used to be quite a hardcore believer, and over the years he's had some doubts and questions, and he sort of labels himself as an agnostic now. So we're going to talk about that journey and how he got to that point. And we're also going to talk a little bit about his podcast and what he does on the show there as well. And so first off, welcome to the show, Eddie, man. It's great to have you here, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me.
I think this has been a while coming, if you ask me. So
Yeah.
I'm just glad you, because I literally asked you like 2 days ago if you could do this, or yesterday
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
yeah. I'm pretty flexible, especially for you.
Oh, he's going to make me blush already.
Yes,
But it's okay. I like the flexibility. I've always been into yoga. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. Already off to the bad dad jokes. But basically what I do here, Eddie, is I talk to people about the rush of hashtag coins. Everyone drink. They're going to be drunk within the first 10 minutes. It's going to be like, what the hell? Might get bruised.
I brought my beer.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't drink right now, but I've got my non-alcoholic water.
I'll drink some for you.
All right, you can throw an extra one down there for me. Look who's in the chat. There's Jenna and Marie and JR and B and P and I'm just naming letters now at this point.
There you go.
Secular pig.
There really
Mom,
is a P.
Angie. Yeah. Oh yeah, there really is. Yeah. Anyways, you know what I do? I talk to people about their journey. So basically, I just say, take us back to those days when you were, deep in the beliefs and sort of how it all kind of came to be. Like how did you start having these doubts, and how did you start, like, who did you ask questions to, like, and how did that kind of affect you in your day-to-day life with your friends, family, that kind of thing?
How much time do we have?
Well, an hour, but we can continue going over some stuff in the after party, as you know.
So I grew up going to a real fundamentalist, legalistic church. My Sundays was like the day for mom and dad to kind of recover, and the Sunday school bus would pick us up, and
Right.
we would
Get you out of their hair.
That's right. We go to Sunday school and then big church. It was a Southern Baptist church, and we were taught a lot of things along the fundamentalist line, young earth creationism, the literal inerrant word of God. And these were things that the mindset that kind of develops is, you don't question,
Right.
God's word. You don't, and if you question the pastor or anybody else, it's in a roundabout way questioning God's word. And we got a little bit older. Mom and dad split up, and it ended up a single mom raising 3 boys for quite a few years alone, and we ended up in the streets. And I didn't care whether God existed.
Right.
I just kind of took for granted,
like an atheistic sort of position.
Well, if somebody would have asked me, I would have told them, and I'm sure I probably did tell some people, yeah, I'm a Christian. Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Okay.
Even though I really, there was nothing of my life that would have said that.
Right.
Got into, running around with gangs and the wrong crowd and things like that, and got into a little bit of legal trouble, a few times. And
I've been there.
Yeah. And, kind of one day I just was like, I went through short drug addiction and all kinds of, recreational drugs and things. And just one day, man, I was just like, I want more out of life than this. This is not me. I'm too smart for this. I was watching Friends, being assaulted, being put in the hospital. It was a badge of honor to go to jail.
Wow.
It was the culture that I grew up in was pretty backwards. And I met my wife in high school, and
Oh, really? So you
yeah,
guys were high school sweethearts?
yes, we've been married 21 years,
Oh,
and
dude,
we got.
that's rare these days. I got to tell you.
Well, I know why. It's been a long, hard road. I don't know why she's put up with me this long, but I just tell everybody we're both just crazy as hell, and it
Yeah.
just kind of meshes.
Your crazy matches her crazy, and it's like a zipper, It just zip.
That's
and there you go.
exactly right. And
Yeah,
we
there you
always
go.
knew we were going to get married. We just, didn't kind of take that step. And, one day she said that I was 21, said, I'm pregnant. I said, will you marry me? And it's kind
There you go.
we come from an
No
old-fashioned
shotguns
family.
needed.
That's right. Well, we had already planned on it. It was, it just kind of moved it up a little bit. But
Right.
so after I got married and had my first child, I started to think about, God and spiritual things. You kind of get a little
Sure.
emotional with,
Yeah.
Having a child. It's such a massive life change.
It is. Yeah.
And we, I told her I was like, man, I want to find out more about God. Who's God? Who's this character that we keep hearing about? So naturally, we went back to the same church that I
Okay.
was going to as a kid. And at this time, I started to really get interested in science. And all of these young earth creationist kind of views just kept clashing with evolution. And I would ask, different Christians and pastor and things like that. And it was kind of back to that questioning God kind of thing and God's word. And I was listening to this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Hank Hanegraaff,
The name
and
rings a bell.
the Bible Answer Man. And
Okay, I think I know who you mean.
yeah, and he had a lot of views contrary, like eschatology views and things like that were different. And I'd always say I like Hank, but I disagree with him on all this.
Right.
But he was really, really, his thing was, what he used to say all the time was in essentials unity and non-essentials liberty and all things charity. He was very graceful. And he made this comment one day. It was, well, what if this eschatology is true? Does that affect who Jesus is and what Jesus did? And it started to kind of, I was like, wait a minute, I guess it really just affects a certain interpretation. And so the more that I got into science and the more that I started to see all these false dichotomies, my whole world view, everything just tumbled. I mean, it just come crashing down. I felt like because I took so many things for granted and I trusted these people who in essence lied to me with this false dichotomy. And it was like, I didn't know who I could trust. I didn't know. I was kind of like, if you're familiar with Rene Descartes, he doubted it until he got all the way down to just a doubter. He kind of flushed his whole world system out. And that's where I was. And I became agnostic for a little while. And I always just kind of had this intuition that there was something other. And, there just seemed to be something bigger, something, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. And that's what sent me into studying and getting into philosophy of religion.
Okay.
And the more time I spent in philosophy of religion, the less time I thought that Christianity, or at least a lot of the Western Christianity that I had been taught, there's no possible way, that it was true. And I mean, I can, if you want to pop in and ask a couple of questions before I go on. I didn't know if you.
Oh no! When I have one, I will definitely speak up. That's just the way, kind of what you'll see me go.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
that kind of
So I got into philosophy of religion and consider myself agnostic. I just didn't know. I didn't know what I knew, And after being in philosophy of religion for years and hearing different metaphysical arguments for God, I was convinced that there was a God, kind of like a deistic approach to it.
Yeah.
And naturally, I won.
My friend Skylar Fiction kind of holds that position as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love Skylar. Skylar is an awesome guy.
He's a great guy. He's funny.
Yeah. He's we've had some great. We actually had a debate. Yeah, we had one on Oz's debate championship.
Oh shit, I remember that. I think I even tuned in for a bit too.
Yeah, me trying to be all honest and everything cost me a debate, but it was just real quick, not a tangent. It was on the problem of evil, and I take the problem of evil and suffering very, very seriously. And I saw a bunch of videos of him debating different Christians who always wanted to flip it around to, well, how do you justify morality? So I just told him, I was like, look, bro, I'm not going to run from any of the questions, any of that. I'm not going to flip it around. You just ask me whatever, and ended up making a friend out of it. So I'm glad, I'm glad it went that way. So then started to kind of study the main world religions, and just so many of them didn't make sense to me. Polytheism just didn't make sense to me. Buddhism really isn't theism, more of a philosophy, but it's like it's
more of a way of life.
Yeah. But this ultimate idealistic kind of idea was like, I just can't get on board with that. And so kind of narrowed me down to the three Abrahamic religions. And Islam, I love you, my Islamic brothers and sisters that are out there, but is kind of a spinoff from Judaism and Christianity.
Volume 3. So yeah,
that's Volume 4 is the
Sabbath album.
Oh, there you go. Rock on. I know you'd get that in there somehow. I was thinking more of the Mormons, but
Book of Mormon.
So going through Judaism, I kind of ruled out Islam, and then going through Judaism and Christianity, honestly, I was just mesmerized by the teacher of who Christ was, the things that he taught, the people, his actions. I know there's a few things that people question about, what he said and how he acted in certain circumstances, but he went amongst my people, where I came from the streets, all of those who wouldn't step foot in a church. That was my people, and so I kind of felt a little connection there. And then I was actually stunned to know that Jesus, this is probably controversial around a few people here, but that Jesus was actually a person. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. What? Because I had just kind of taken everything on faith. I didn't even know that.
I think there probably was a dude, but I don't think he was really anything like the guy in the book, right? I think he probably carried some of the characteristics, but could he perform miracles? I highly doubt it.
That's, and that's usually what I say to my atheist friends that lean towards mythicism. The question's not whether Jesus existed or not. It's, was he divine? Did he do these divine things? That's where the debate needs to be. Did he do miracles? Did he do, there can always be a rabbi named Jesus, that existed at the time, and you're not giving any more credence to Christianity just because a guy named Jesus lived. But anyway, so I was just kind of, mesmerized by his teachings and things. And then I got into some of the arguments for the resurrection. And now I don't expect a naturalist to think that a man can rise from the dead, because naturally people don't rise from the dead. But
well, after cell death occurs, you're not getting up again.
right. But my idea was, I was, trying to be as open and fair as possible, was if there was a God and he did create the universe,
Mhm.
how hard is it to raise a man from the dead? So I kind of looked at it from that perspective. And then I jumped all into Christian doctrine, the Trinity, the incarnation, all this, and, just head first and just chewing it all up. And the more that I learned about the Trinity and the incoherence, or what appears to be in the incoherence of the Trinity, the more I became agnostic on the Trinity.
It's bonkers, if you ask me.
It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it
No,
just flat out, they'll call it an apparent contradiction, but not a formal contradiction. And I'm
Right.
like, it at least violates the law of identity.
Yeah.
I mean, God, 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 God. How is I mean, how is all of them separately God and God? It just doesn't make sense. So, same thing with the incarnation. Christ, fully God, fully man. How are you? You're either God or you're man. There's how does that work? It seems to violate the law of identity. Another apparent contradiction. So as it stands today, I am not fully agnostic. I am agnostic on whether Christ was God. What kind of divine relationship, I don't know. I'm agnostic on really what we can know about God and his attributes and, things. I'm kind of a deist who is convinced that Christ is somehow in relation to God. And that's kind of where I'm at today. After going through that entire deconstruction and trying to kind of put myself back together again, if you would.
I'm going to address something in the chat here real quick here.
Oh,
I'm incorrectly being accused of something, and it starts here. See, you'd already told me about the marriage proposal even before we went live. You having her as a high school sweetheart. So I already knew that. And I agree with Uncher.
Yeah. Right. Well, I
It's not for
don't
everyone.
disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I also qualified the statement with, we had an old-fashioned idea of how marriage and things worked. We couldn't. Rookie mistake. We we would have, in my family and her family, to have a child out of wedlock would have been massive shame, massive. Now we look back, we don't regret getting married, but I would agree completely with Aunt Jarrett's not necessarily a good reason to get married. It doesn't always work. Most times it doesn't.
That's why I said, when you said 21 years, I was like, bravo to you, man, because that's a rarity these days.
Right.
Yes. So to clarify, that is not the position that I hold, Andrew. It's entirely up to the individual, and if he decided he wanted to get married because they got pregnant, but they had already planned to, then hey, good for you.
Yeah. We were going to be. We'd already talked about it. We were, already kind of planning it. It just kind of moved the date up sooner. And honestly, I wish we wouldn't have rushed it. I wish we could have waited, a little while longer and probably had a better wedding. Definitely a better honeymoon. That's for sure. It's nothing like a pregnant bride on the honeymoon.
Oh no.
Yeah, you get to drink and she don't. That's no
Yeah,
fun.
I can see that being problematic.
Yeah. Oh, such a great time.
So, do you you said your folks had split up, that they had divorced or whatever.
Mhm.
Do you still see either of them, or?
Yeah. So it's kind of complicated. My dad, the man I consider my dad's not my biological dad. My biological dad wasn't around, and I didn't meet him till early 20s. Um, and we actually just lost him recently as we were the last few years kind of repairing the relationship. Um, but the man that I consider my dad, he had moved away to another state, and for work and things, and we just kind of lost contact. But he actually lives here with me now, kind of like my best friend. So it worked out in the end. And my mom had a stroke a few years ago, and
No, sorry.
it debilitated her pretty bad, and she's in a home up here not far from us. But that's why I said the problem of suffering and the
Yeah,
evil is very, very close to me, and it's one I struggle with all the time as a
yeah.
theist. Is uh, because I mean, my wife and I's actually we've lost a child, and
Oh,
going through that, my mother, my younger brother's schizophrenic. I've spent since my mother had her stroke, spent many a months chasing him down, trying to keep him housed, trying to keep him on medication. So trust me, if there was a way for me to not be convinced that God exists, I've tried it. I
mm,
just, some things we just can't make ourselves, we find ourselves convinced of certain things.
yes,
But I have a lot of questions.
sure.
A lot of questions.
That actually, the way you said that, it reminded me of the fellow one of the fellows who survived the Holocaust, who was asked if he believed in God, and he said, "Well, if he does exist, he's got to answer a lot of questions."
Yeah.
You know, like, because us, or him saying this, us being the chosen people,
Right.
right? Why would we end up? It's like, what kind of lesson are you teaching here? Like, what are we supposed to learn from this? Like, like it's hard, man, especially and in your position as well, to go through what you've gone through.
Yeah.
It's
I
tough, dude,
mean,
and I'm here for you if you ever need it. By the way,
I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. That's, I, everybody says, or you hear a lot of Christians say God can make things good. Now I can say I don't sweat the petty shit. That's for
mm,
sure. But
yeah,
it's not, the character or um the ability to sustain that you get afterwards. I'd rather throw all that away, and go back and have our daughter with us, have my mom not in the condition she's in. So whether it, balances out, it doesn't seem to balance out to me. It's
right, yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear you.
yeah.
And on the topic of your mom, I sure wanted to know how your mom's health is now.
My mom's doing pretty good. She has pretty severe aphasia, so communication is
Mm.
hard. Um but she's a clown, and we still she's always been a clown. We still laugh and cut up together, even if I don't know what the hell she's saying half the time. But no, it's like a game of charades. It's actually I hate to say it, but it's actually kind of fun sometimes. Where I'm trying
Well,
to figure, because
got to make the best, right?
she's got a good sense of humor, so she'll one of the few words that she remembers very, very well is damn. So so after she tries to get me to understand for a little bit, that she just goes, damn, damn. And I'm like, why can you say that so good? Where is the rest of the
That one's eternal. Damn.
that's she said a few things before that I'm pretty sure I know what she was saying. But yeah. So in the way that I ended up around so many atheists and so many atheist friends is because a lot of us actually have the same goal, and that is I'm anti-fundamentalist.
Okay.
I think the kind of
Me
Christianity
too.
that has, yes,
In
I
any
know that's why
religion,
I
to be
like it.
honest.
Absolutely, that's fundamentalism. Is a
So
threat.
harmful. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it is a threat, whether it's Christian fundamentalism, whether it's Islamic fundamentalism, whether if there's a secular fundamentalism, whatever kind of fundamentalism it is, it's a dangerous mindset.
Well, yeah, extremists of any stripe can
Yeah.
have the potential to be extremely dangerous and harmful. So
Yeah, and I was I mean, I didn't want to really embrace Christianity again because of the damage, that was done, because of uh the brainwashing that went on, the indoctrination that went on. Everything's so black and white and there's no gray area. The no love like Christian love. Some of the most judgmental, backwards people, who would smile and love you in the face and stab you in the back were in the fundamentalist churches that I was a part of. Um, and, the reason I kind of made so many friends in this uh the whole YouTube and atheist community is because I agree with a lot of the atheists that a lot of Christians use their scripture to be bigots,
yeah,
sometimes racists,
yeah,
and I think it's just disgusting. um I think it's disgusting that in this country, at least, I know you're in Canada, but at least in this country, if you're an open atheist, good luck ever being a politician. Good luck being a
Well,
successful business owner.
there are more non-believers getting into politics now. There's quite a few. Um, it's not nowhere near the numbers of the other way around, but it's
Yeah.
still little
But
bits at a time, baby steps, man.
yeah, it's the thing though that people think it's okay just because somebody doesn't believe like you. It's
Yeah,
okay to discriminate against them. That
yeah,
just
no,
I don't get it. It's okay to walk out into the world and call two people who love each other evil sinners going to hell. It just what that is not a God I'll follow. That's
right.
not a that's not a God I would follow. That I mean, we don't get to choose who we're attracted to. People love each other. Who cares who
Yeah,
somebody else loves as long as they're of
it's
legal
about the love.
consent.
Exactly.
Yeah. The legal consenting age. I mean, why does it bother you? Most of those very same people, according to their ideas, I guarantee you their house is full of porn and all these other things that they consider sinful, but they
Oh
want to
yeah.
go out and tell, you know, these people, you're evil. You're going to hell. That's sin. You're living in sin. Who the hell doesn't live in sin according to Christianity?
I think
Everything's a
everyone's
damn sin.
guilty.
Yeah, according to them, everything's a sin. We're all sin. We're all dying, and that's another thing I don't like. I don't like the doctrine of hell that they lord over people's head. I don't like
Mm,
the condemnation, the fear. Uh, what
I
kind of
know.
God is that?
I know. Somebody once did an analogy, like if you had kids and they were misbehaving, would you throw them in the basement and light it on fire? You know?
It's well, and the more that I study Judaism, the more I get away from main or at least Orthodox Christian views. Of
Well,
course, I get called a heretic, and I'm like, Okay, what's your point? Because heresy resides on the authority of the church. The church came about 300 years after Christ. Why do I care what a bunch of white Platonists that got together and decided this doctrine, which they may not all been white, but you know what I mean? It's kind of a Western Platonist doctrine that they put together that's totally antithetical to Jewish thought.
Right. Well, Jews don't really have a hell. They have that. What is it? Sheol.
Sheol. Yeah, the ones that do believe in afterlife believe in Sheol or Sheol, however there's
Sheol.
pronounced
That's
different
right.
ways. Yeah. And what up, Bar?
So you saw the one from Aunt Jur?
Yes. And Aunt Jur, I definitely would love to talk with you sometime at length about that. I hate to hear that you've experienced the same thing. So I know firsthand how much it sucks.
Yep. Yeah.
What are these coins I'm hearing? Are you getting paid?
No, that's anytime I get a notification, it's the Mario coin noise from the games.
Darn, I thought I was going to get paid, man.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, that's not the situation.
I wouldn't charge you anyway.
It's okay. I don't really have a lot of money to spend right now. I'm like, okay, well, it's over. That was quick.
Jim says I'm a butt. You're a butt, Jim.
You're a butt.
Bar said he loves me. I love you, Bar. For real. We had a good talk.
That Bar's a good guy. He's funny as fuck, too.
Even though I'm just weird like that, man. I was so angry towards fundamentalists for so long that when I hear rants like Bar's, I'm thinking he's talking about fundamentalists. Go on with your bad self.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the loudest amongst us in the West, and it has influence on a lot of people. And that's one of the reasons that a lot of people like me. I don't evangelize. I don't think we're even really called to do that. Our evangelism is you live an example. You know, you love people. You live your life as Christ lived his. If you believe in Christ in the way that he lived, then do what he did. You know, don't go out there and beat people over the head with the Bible. Try to convert. I know people's heard me say this on several shows, but who in the West, especially the US and Canada, doesn't know who Jesus is? I mean, why are we like literally going into, can I tell you about Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, what are you going to tell me?
Fuck off watching the ball game.
Jim, talking about me shaving my mustache. It was a mistake, Jim. It was a mistake.
You growing it back?
Yeah, I am. So it was growing back pretty good. And then I wanted to keep it trimmed this time and put the wrong guard on.
Oh, jeez.
So
I've been there.
I was right back to the Amish look. I was like, son of a man, it's going to be another 2 weeks before I can do anything. Because contrary to thought, because I have a thick beard, my hair does not grow fast. It takes a while to get there.
Well, yeah. Jeebus. Isn't that his personal bus? Isn't that what that is? It's the G-bus?
Is it the G-bus? The OG with the G-bus.
Yeah. Yeah, Joseph makes a point here.
Mark, go into the whole world. Yeah, but he was talking about the people spreading the church at the time. We got to put things in cultural context. You know, well, it is spread throughout the world. Duh. At least here. Why are they trying to still spread it here?
I don't know. I've always sort of been of the thought that it's strange how this one little area in the Middle East got everything all right, and now they're supposed to spread it all. I mean, so many people all over the world, because of colonization, is how that happened for the most part, right? You know, different groups going out different times and spreading it all over, and pretty much torturing anyone that didn't want to do their belief system.
Yeah, there was plenty of that. That's for sure. That's, when I think it's ironic when I hear Christians talk about the Muslim conquests, and I'm like, wasn't there a crusade? It was in response to the conquest. Wasn't there a crusade?
Yeah.
In response to the really? So we ended up going and colonizing most of the world in response to Muslims attacking. I mean, look at what happened. Look what Spain did to South America. I believe the
Spaniards went down there to
spreading Christianity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And diseases that wiped a lot of them out. They didn't really have to do much. Right?
Conquistadors. Yes, Mikey.
Yeah,
thank you. I was going to say conquistador, but I'd rather be quiet than be wrong. What is that? It's better that people think you're a fool than you to open your mouth and let it be known. Right.
Yeah, that's right. Better be seen and thought the fool than speak and let it be known.
Jesus
or
Christ.
Something like that.
I like
they're going to be going. They're going to be doing that shit all day here. And Tons of Mice wants to know if you shaved a luminous like a real man. That's NIS. Tons of Mice. Jeez.
Luminous.
Luminous is my band.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't tell you about the shaving video. I think we need some other expertise on this subject, because I still want to talk a little about your podcast as well. But I think we should bring the producer in here, because he knows about this and he loves making fun of this shit. So
that's Luminous. It's a spell from Harry Potter. And it lights up the whole room.
Oh, very cool. I could use that sometimes.
I think it was just Lumos. I watched all of those. But the shaving story was, for whatever reason, I was trying to find a link for Neil's band, and I ran across this dude called Monty Fox, who has this going thing on his channel where it's like a shave and a song, and he was shaving with a straight razor in his bathroom with a 360 GoPro with Neil's song playing through a Bluetooth speaker. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm here for it. And it was fucking awesome.
What was he shaving?
His face.
His face.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, let's not get carried away now.
Oh yeah, I was
pretty sure he wouldn't put that on YouTube.
Yeah, I was like, where's this going? Where are we going? Well, huevos and luminos kind of.
It's actually all eyes. It's Liminis, and it's Latin for on the threshold.
It's at 255 views now.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I think it's been at 200 and something for a while now, though. I think I said to him in the chat on the video, or in the comment section, I said, you should come on the show, not knowing anything at all about the guy. He's like, that'd be great. And then he gave me his email. I sent him an email, and I never heard back from him.
As far as his shave and a song ones, that's the most popular one.
Is it?
Yeah, so he should totally come on.
You got to share the link.
Okay.
You can't talk about it without sharing the link.
It's not as bad as we're making it sound, but it's just hard to describe to people how the hell you like. What does that mean? And they're like,
yeah, but he does a good review of the song, though. The way the lyrical content works out, and how he likes the music and stuff like that, right? Because I write all the lyrics, so when he talked about the lyrics, I was like, oh, I'm touched.
Rock on.
He liked the way I worded it, because I have a line, and the end word of that line is the start of the next sort of thing, and then over, for a couple of the verses, one of them it's not like that, but there's a reason for that too. But anyway, yeah, he liked the structure, and he liked it, and I was like, wow, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. He's got a couple of videos that have a little bit more traffic than the Luminous Shaven song, but it's number 2 for the shave songs.
Nice.
So,
what's the first one?
if
you say Nickelback, I'm
to get that's
I wish I had said it.
I'm done with life if you say Nickelback.
It's some band called
like
Trapped.
Hey, Trapped rocks.
I know Trapped. Yeah, Trapped's good actually.
No, they're not. They're not good. We love them because it was 2004, and what else was going on? Nickelback. So Trapped seemed awesome.
It's true.
I like Trapped.
In the land of Nickelback, Trapped man is king.
One album wonder, but Trap was good.
Yeah, they totally were.
Man,
another band from probably about the same time that I really dig, and they actually did a thing on, I think it was Twitter, where they say, name your favorite band and see if they reply to you, or a favorite actor. There's a whole thing of that going on.
Yeah.
And somebody put Chevelle, and I was like, fuck yeah, I remember Chevelle. That song Red is fucking awesome. Very Tool-esque.
Below. Yeah.
But fuck, I love that song. And Chevelle answered. It's like, oh,
no way.
Right on. Oh yeah. Actually, you see these floating around, and people are the bands or actors or whatever are actually answering. Like Mark Hamill did one.
Yeah, I like Chevelle. I like Tool.
Yeah, I love Tool.
Chevelle's from around here.
But yes, you haven't heard good music until you mix 3-6 Mafia and Tool.
Why did they do something together?
No, there's a guy on YouTube. Well, there's actually a few of them, but there was this one guy. That's all he does is mixes, and he took like Eminem and NF and put them together, and it was phenomenal. It was
interesting.
Yeah, because the first time I saw it, I was like, "What? Eminem and NF collab? No way!" Because at that time NF wasn't really anything, and then I saw that it was the mix, but it was fire. He did one with Eminem and the Atheist rapper
Hobson.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Hobson. Hobson. It's Titan said, "I'm a substance dualist. I'm a hylomorphic dualist. Thank you very much."
Yeah, get it right, Titan.
Get with my Aristotle. He's a solipsist. I don't even exist anyway. So.
Oh yeah, that's right too. Titan is a solipsist.
Yeah. Once he stops thinking about me, we're gone. That's it.
I don't subscribe to solipsism. I think it's to me, and this is nothing against anyone in particular, but to me, it's kind of like a cop out.
Well, it's one of those things that there's nothing pragmatic about it. I mean,
yeah, I'm a pragmatist too. So
yeah, it's what are we going to build from that? You all just exist. It's just all within the mind. But I'm waiting on one thing. It should come here in a minute.
Unite.
There you go. That's what I was waiting on. Anytime it's brought up.
That's funny.
Hey, Titan, you miss Oz was doing his recording and rap the other night, and he played Hey Jude, and you weren't there. We were upset.
I'm still looking. Okay.
Is it a Pokemon character?
What is this Pokemon?
Go solipsist. I'm still trying to find the 3-6 Mafia song, but I did find 3-6 Mafia versus Metallica. That's pretty good.
This is Pokemon. There you go.
Oh, you're still playing Pokemon now?
Hell yeah.
Pokemon Go? Yeah, fuck yeah.
Come on now.
What?
I use it to track my steps.
No, I'm just playing.
And it hatches on my
use to track your steps.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
I still play Yu-Gi-Oh too, so.
I never got into any of the anime. See, in the hood, we didn't have anime.
Oh, bullshit.
You want to
Goku is highly
Wait a minute,
respected
how old
in
are
the
you?
hood. Goku is highly respected in the hood. How dare you?
How old are you? How old are you?
34.
Oh, yeah. No, our hoods were not the same.
When anime got to the U.S., it's like saying Bruce Lee's not popular in the hood. Every motherfucker loves Bruce Lee in the hood.
Bar, tell him, Bar. Ain't no anime in the hood in Memphis.
Ask him about his deep love of anime. There's anime and kung fu films are a staple on your
But he didn't get that from the hood though.
Yeah, man.
Anime's been in the U.S. since the 50s. What are you talking about, man? Fucking
What?
Robo.
I didn't even know anything about anime
like Voltron. That's technically anime.
Well, I mean, the first one was Astro Boy, I believe, that aired on any station here, and it was in New York.
Oh, I do remember Astro Boy.
Yeah,
that's anime.
Yeah. Yep. It's not like today anime.
What do you mean? That is what it is.
It's retro anime.
It's one of the pioneers of what we know of today's anime. And the stuff that I watched in my youth was stuff like Star Blazers or Geoforce or the hell Robotech.
Wasn't Guyver a thing?
Guyver, yeah.
Guyver.
I never saw a comic book until I was an adult.
Really?
Yeah.
You just
I didn't know anything. Friends. I didn't have I did. You're right. It was if you didn't play football and basketball and fight all the time, then you were considered a nerd.
I got you.
Yeah. It was yeah. I'm a nerd now, so I'm making up for many years of not being a nerd.
And so therefore we will indoctrinate you with all of the anime we can squeeze into your eyes at once.
I just can't get into it, man. I've tried, and it's not my cup of tea. I got friends that I grew up with in the hood that love anime now, and I just can't do it, bro.
We'll get you. You just got to find that one that gets you, and then you're in. We got you. You'll be one of us.
Don't be sending me no hentai links either.
Scared you might like it.
I plead the fifth.
Fucking funny. Hey, wait a minute. We don't have that in Canada.
This episode brought to you by Shark VPN. Do you live in Canada and can't get
I use Hotspot, actually. And you know what's funny? I think my VPN becomes Duke's place because it always goes to Florida, either Duke's place or Jen's place. So
nice. I still don't know how to use those.
Titan. It's where you tie up a bunch of hens and you watch them go after each other. That's what hentai
like a necklace
is.
Some call them pearls.
Excuse me.
Oh gosh.
Candlebox?
Come
on, man.
How are you gonna hate on Candlebox?
I used to like Creed. Yeah. I still kind of like Creed, I think.
They got a couple songs I like. Just like Nickelback. Nickelback has a couple tunes I like too.
Yeah, they just
one that I did.
Out.
Yeah, that's the problem. They got way overplayed. And I used to do Leader of Men for karaoke all the time.
Sweet.
Which I thought was a good one.
Don't they have a asshole song or something like that?
No, that's Dennis Leary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, not that one. I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
No, it's or Next Contestant, I think it is.
So, but you're talking about Nickelback?
Yeah, it's talking about bar fight or I thought they were like hood then. I was like, yeah, he's talking about scrapping now. Here's your Nickelback.
Well, the first album, The State or whatever, was actually pretty good. You give them that.
I can't believe I hated on Candlebox. Man, get out of here. I still listen to Candlebox sometimes.
I like Candlebox.
And White Snake, too.
White Snake? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
My father-in-law is very much still into 80s hair metal. So every time we go over there, here I go again on my own. He's like, hey, come on in. And it's just blaring at like 100%.
road I walk along.
At
Like a
100% volume. It's just like you can hear the speakers clipping. It's just so it's like, okay, man. All right. You really
Stop it.
Okay.
See, I don't know. I know that Whitesnake was around during the hair phenomenon bands, but
yeah, they were a little before that.
I don't know if I would. I think they sort of became a hair band afterwards because they were just long haired dudes before that, like the old metal days, right? So,
but they were all a bunch of Kiss wannabes. Kiss is the one who started the big hair and the makeup.
They were one of them.
And,
yeah. Rainbow as well.
Rainbow.
Where Dio originated from, and
I do love me some Dio.
Ronnie James Dio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it Rainbow? Because he had like what 5 different bands.
Oh yeah, he was in many bands, and of course his solo shit too, right?
Yeah.
Was Holy Diver a solo one?
Yes.
Holy Diver. I was just thinking of Molly Hatchet a second ago. Look at you.
Molly Hatchet.
I'm thinking of the other, not Holy Diver.
Shoot MacGyver.
Shoot MacGyver. What?
Oh, come on.
Shoot MacGyver.
I mean, Molly Hatchet had one huge song.
Flirting
with Disaster.
Down the road and I'm flirting with disaster.
Yeah, I got him confused for a second. I was thinking
I'm gonna get a strike for that.
Molly Hatchet a minute ago, and then you said that, and it sounded familiar.
The great album.
He said
covers, man.
He said it's Tony James.
Tony James, huh?
Ronnie James.
Ronnie James Dio, isn't it?
Ronnie James Dio, yes.
Yeah.
Who's saying that?
Holy Diver.
You're about 5 minutes late, Kyle.
Sorry,
autocorrect. Hellbound hero. Or Hellbound hillbilly.
It's never been ducking. I've never tried to say ducking. Not one time have I texted. I was standing underneath this thing and I ended up ducking underneath an additional, that's never been the case. I've never had to use ducking in the present tense or duck in the present tense.
Well, that's a ducking shame.
I'm telling you, I did a lot of ducking.
Back in my salad days, ducking all the time.
Whack, whack, whack.
If your belly's ever poking out, just duck it in a little bit.
Duck it. Duck it in, duck it in.
Oh, we're just getting silly now. So give us a little bit about what you do on your podcast before we wrap this up and get into the fun stuff.
Yeah, so I recruit people that make me look good, and
solid business model.
That's right. If you can't
oh man, that
fake it till you make it, ain't that what they say? No, so I bring on atheists, theists, agnostics, academics, lay people, PhDs.
Pretty you've had a whole gamut of people on your channel.
Yeah, I've Graham Oppie, Richard Carrier, a lot of different philosophy nerds, philosophers. It's and we have a big show coming up Thursday night.
Wait, the wrestler big show?
Yeah, I wish. I hate story about that on the after party.
He's
teaser.
Yeah, there you go. So I bring them on and interview them to learn about them. They get to, they go on all these other channels, and the atheists or the lay people, I want to know, kind of like you, I want to know their story. I want to know how they got to where they're at.
Yeah.
The journey to there, because I'm genuinely interested in, like you, how people kind of came to where they are. And with the academics, they do debates on different channels. They talk about their work all the time. I want to know about them. I'm intrigued by what made them go spend $100,000 to stay in school for, 6 years, 8 years, sometimes perpetually. But they're just so
Professional students.
yeah, but they're so brilliant. I want to know the person behind, and getting to know those people. It's crazy how brilliant so many of them are, and they're just no different than we are. It just
No, of
seems
course.
like, but you kind of think, well, they think on a whole nother level, are totally different people. They're cheese, wine, and classical music, and it's like no, almost none of them are like that. They're Kiss fans, they're basketball lovers, and things like that. So yeah, I just bring people on and interview them to learn about them. Kristen James Watkins,
folk.
what's up, homie? Yep.
Holy shit,
Absolutely.
Christian, what's going on, bro?
What it is.
Ducking fuck.
We're still talking about ducking.
Yeah.
Ducked that retail guy a couple weeks.
I mean, pardon me. Yeah, I'm all about the same thing, Eddie. I like to hear the stories. I like to hear how people ended up, where they are today, right? So, because I think that these stories are pretty interesting, and for me, anyways, when I do these, I do them partially with the intent in case there's people out there that are having questions and they want to hear how others dealt with it.
Absolutely.
Right. So they get to hear it from people of all different stripes, like how they dealt with whatever they were once a part of, and how, some end up back in religion too. I've had people on that went back. Right. So, and I think it's important for folks to hear these stories on how these things sort of happen.
Yeah. And I love shows like this. I've seen quite a few of your shows, and because it lets people know that in today's society, it's okay to doubt.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay if you don't believe anymore. Yeah. If you don't believe anymore, it's okay. There's a whole community of people out here that don't believe anymore. And that's what I like about a lot of the shows like yours, where, you talk to people, you illuminate these things and these issues. So people, because the more that, it's kind of like with mental health, the more that people know about others that are dealing with the same thing they are, the more you can, to take Pasta's line, normalize atheism, then
it becomes less of a stigma, right?
Right, exactly. We can actually start making some progress, because people are afraid of what they don't know. That's why we have bigots and racists. That's why we have, all of these divisions that we have. And this is just another one of them that we need to get out of the way and view people as people and not as what they believe or don't believe.
Many people feel that their beliefs are a big part of them, and really it is a part of you, but it's not as big as you think. It is a part of you. It's a cornerstone of who you are in a lot of ways, but there's so much more to people than just what they believe. When I say believe, I'm talking about beliefs that are like religious in or some stripe of a religion, or possibly even astrology, or like these are the kinds of things that people that have beliefs in. When I say that, I mean the beliefs that really can't be demonstrated, or stuff like that. Like we all hold something of that level, I think, to some degree. Although I like to think that I'm weeding my way out of all the bad stuff and sticking to what I know I can demonstrate to be true. Kind of.
Right. And that's the thing is, people, and it's far more common in religion, that becomes their identity.
Yeah.
And they don't realize how much they're selling themselves short. Yes, you are not your beliefs. You are not,
you are to a degree, but
right. But that's not as an identity who you are. That's part of who you are. And yeah, we can't sell ourselves short like that. Don't be beholden to something you think is part of your identity so much that you're afraid to walk away from it because you're not going to be you. That's when it becomes a dangerous part of our identity.
That's actually a very good point. You feel like if you lose that, you're just not going to be you anymore. And I always thought it was kind of a funny way of looking at it, because actually, you're still you. You just don't carry that with you anymore. That's the only thing, right?
Right. And for a lot of people, it's a major burden that's lifted off of them. You know,
I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that, I mean, if somebody's holding to beliefs that is a burden to them, let them go. You know, there's no reason to carry that kind of burden. Let it go. I mean, you don't have to become an unbeliever. You don't have to, just stop with all of the guilt. Don't let those things pile up on you to where you're carrying a burden, because that's not healthy for anybody. It's
hard to do
it
with
really is.
Well, especially with the Abrahamic religions, it's quite hard to do. Because they're
Absolutely.
literally guilt-based.
Yep. That's
so it's
at least that's the way it's been taught a lot.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Eddie, man, I'm glad you decided to come on. I'm glad you were okay.
Oh, absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me on, for sure.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed having you on today.
Yeah,
we're gonna do an after party, folks. So if you'd like to come in and say hi to Eddie and Mikey and myself, just let us know. There's a link to it in the description box. Oh, there we go. Link to it in the description box below. And don't forget, I got all of Eddie's links down below as well. Everything from his Twitter to Facebook, right down to his Patreon and his actual website where you can go and listen to the podcast if you just want audio. But he also does it on the YouTube channel as well, which is also linked there. So definitely give him a check. Check him out. If you don't follow him around on Twitter, he's tweeted some pretty good stuff sometimes. So I would definitely say give him a follow on Twitter as well. Did you see all the Facebook memes yesterday? Facebook going down. There's some funny fucking shit, man. But yeah, I think we'll talk about that in the after party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's some funny fucking shit from yesterday. The best one I saw was dude's legs sticking out. Dude's legs sticking out from underneath this, like, it looks like a computer board thing, like a whole server, and there's like a bazillion wires, and it says Mark Zuckerberg right now. He's under there trying to fix everything. There's one there.
I work in the IT. I work in IT, and I'm telling you, I've seen massive amounts of wires on top of people in situations where they're just like freaking,
Did you try turning it off and turning it on again? No.
Oh my God. Hey, I went through that. I was trying to get I've got a bad driver somewhere in this expensive freaking gaming computer that I have. And I went to tech support, and these guys are talking about update drivers, reboot the computer, all this. I'm like, dude, are you freaking serious? So you know what their suggestion was? Put it back to factory defaults. I was like,
what?
I do video editing. I have 30 programs on my freaking computer and like 500 gigs of video stuff. Do you know how long that takes to transfer?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I told him I'm not going to name the computer because I don't want to do that to him, but it's the last one I'm going to own.
Yeah.
First and last.
I decided I'll buck up for a computer that I've wanted for a long time. So I finally got an Alienware. So.
Oh, mine's right below. I should have got an Alienware, especially what I paid for this freaking.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. It's just a laptop too, but it's an amazing laptop.
That or a MacBook Pro.
I'm not a Mac guy. I've never been an Apple fan.
Never.
If I could afford one, I'd have one.
Yeah, I would too. I wouldn't have bought this. I would have got the MacBook Pro.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks that really dig the MacBook Pro, and if I've used Mac before.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a difficult interface or anything like that, but
no, it's just different. I mean, you go from one platform to another. It's not the same comfort level.
Nah, I'm fine on a Mac too. It doesn't matter. I like their little tabletop thing they got there where everything gets bigger as you run across it.
Yeah,
it's the same idea, right? But
well, I do got a pretty fancy iPad, and then and we're all iPhones around here, so the natural integration would have been a MacBook. But when I saw the price on the MacBook Pro, I was like, let's look at some gaming PCs.
Yeah, you can get 2 gaming PCs for the price of one.
Yes. Oh. Oh, I saw you said, "What's up, Randall?" or Randolph.
Randolph, yeah.
It's always Randy, Randall. What's up?
He's a computer guy too. That's what he does for a living.
Yeah, ask him what his operating system is, and then you'll understand why he hates Mac so much.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
Oz
know
pops
what his
in when
is.
we're cutting. When you're turning off, Oz pops in. That's so lucky.
I like that too. What the fuck? Don't you have a show to be doing right now, Oz? The fuck, man?
Now you got to go back and watch the whole show so you can know what happened, Oz. We're not going to tell you.
Linux.
Oh, Linux is so ancient.
Well, let me get that
All right.
invite to the after party to him now.
Yeah, send it to him. Let's do that. Let's get that going. If you guys want to join us, you can. Just let us know. I guess, yeah, we'll just wrap this up. So first of all you guys out there in the chat, on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, thanks for hanging out with us and watching. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. And thanks, of course, to my guest of honor tonight. And of course, all the amazing patrons. You guys are really the meat and behind the show. The meat and the, what the fuck am I trying to say here?
Potatoes.
I'll be the potatoes.
That's the meat and potatoes. That's
the meat and the radishes.
My potato wasn't working.
Mine, because my potato's blinding you.
That's right. Hang on, fuck, just a second here. God damn it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna pull out some aviators. Oh man.
No. But we did play with a band called Aviator Shades once.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they wear aviators?
Yeah, they do when they come out on stage. They do.
So
they actually got a really, really cool song. If you guys want to look it up, it's probably on YouTube. It's called Tallahassee Woman. It's good.
Tallahassee Woman. That sounds familiar.
Tallahassee Woman, yeah. Tallahassee Woman, yeah. It's good too.
George Thorogood and the Destroyers.
No. Aviator Shades.
That's who they say make it.
Murder Shed's here too.
Where?
Holy cow! Now everyone shows up right at the end, eh?
They're just getting queued up. They're getting warmed up for the after show. That's what that is.
That's what.
Spoiler alert: Neil and I do not get naked.
Well, thanks a lot, Eddie. Now no one's going. Damn it!
We started that Kickstarter, but we would just never raise enough money to do it. That's all.
The goal was $5 minimum donation $5.
yeah, that's right. So far, we've made $250.
$250.
Wait, minimum? How the hell's that? See, people were putting negative. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this. Anyways, yeah, I know. Where the hell was I? Oh yes, thanks to patrons. Yes, we did the thanking of the patrons. We did the thanking of the patrons.
The thanking
and reminders for all the stuff that I'm involved with. Of course, the True Narc Talk that Randolph and I will be doing as soon as the studio is finished being built, which is getting closer, guys. The roof is being worked on. Yes. Now we can raise the roof.
This time next year, we'll be talking about the same studio.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But anyways, if you don't know much about the show, you can head over to www.truenartalk.ca and check it out there, and it'll give you a link to the channel, and you can sub so you don't miss our launch date. And also myself and Mikey's been on the show, and a lot of other great folks have been on the show. The new revamped or relaunched Nonprofits, which is an ACA product that's 3 p.m. Central between Talk Ethan and the Atheist Experience. And of course, the last Saturday of every month, which is actually going to be next Saturday because it was supposed to be last Saturday, but then I forgot that I had a noontime show to do. So kind of had to bump it to the following Saturday. So this coming Saturday, Laughing in Disbelief channel, myself and Andy and Seamus get together and do a little show called Atheists Drinking Out Loud. And the guest, who the hell did we schedule? Man, I'm having a bad day today.
Well, tune in on next Saturday to figure out who the guest is.
To see who the guest is. It'll come to me. I'll probably remember by the time the after party is over, so I'll do the little reminder at that point. Anyways, once again, Eddie, thanks for being an amazing guest with me tonight, man. It's great to have you on finally.
Thanks for having me.
And like I always say at the end of the interviews, guys, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time. Whoopsie daisy, where the hell's the outro? The one that I actually started with by accident. There it is. See you guys.
Untangle